Well, this is my little lemon tree, and it's producing some huge lemons. Actually, this other lemon tree is starting to produce one right there. See that? This one did produce some before. But look at this guy. Look at this one too. Holy smokes. That sucker's huge, man. I think I'm going to cut this one off. It's about to let it get ripe the rest of the way. That's a huge lemon. Usually you buy them in a store. They're about that size. So that compared to this, look at the difference. Man, so we're going to cut this puppy off. Leave the other one on there a little longer. Man, there we go. You notice that thing sprung up again. God, man, that's a huge lemon. God, when they're starting to get yellow like that, it's about, you don't want to wait till they get soft. I figure this one's going to get ripe inside though. Damn, man. You know, it's about, let's see, I'd say this would be a big lemon, right? From a store. That's about twice the diameter, but when you're figuring twice the diameter, it's about 6 times the content, you know, because it's 2 pi r for the volume of a circle, you know, or a sphere. Pi r squared or something like that. 2 pi r is for the diameter. Pi r squared. So if that thing's about twice, it's really about 4 or 5 times or something like that. The thing is big, man. And you know, I got the Lukowski coils around here. You know, it's amazing. Now, I don't know nothing about agriculture, but there's one little trick that I'm surprised. You know, these guys, they don't know this. This was out from the 1930s. That was from George Lukowski in France. That coil. See how that? All it is some housing wire, and it's not touching. It works like a capacitor to bring in energies in and around us from the sun and stuff. So what we're going to do here, you know, it actually helps the plant. It actually helps the plant grow stronger. And if any problem comes up with this plant with some kind of orange tree blight or lemon tree blight, we're going to take a sample of that blight off of this damn thing, and we're going to see if we can run that spooky device on it and cure it. It's amazing, like, you got all these high dollar jackasses around here, and there's just some simple solutions, but that is real cheap. Every single tree that anybody grows, or any single, you know, whether it's an apple tree, a lemon tree, or whatever the hell it is, it ought to have that loop around it. It's not completely enclosed. It's got an open end on it. It works like a capacitor. It's a copper. It's the copper inside. It doesn't matter that the wire has the insulation on it. It matters that you got the copper, and it's not a complete loop that works like a capacitor. It's actually, in the open side of the loop faces south towards the sun, and you want to point it like a slight angle to the angle of the sun too. And it works best on simple plants. Now, of course, if you ran a George Lukowski multi-wave oscillator on a plant, of course that would take energy, and you'd be burning up tungsten rods for the air gaps and stuff like that. The plant would really grow, but that would actually cure a plant of diseases. And they don't know this shit. It's been out since the 1930s, man. So the guy, in my opinion, he was murdered. He was run over by a limousine in New York City. Then you had World War II, when those devices were taken out of, you know, they were lost in Italy and France. That's mainly where the devices were. There was only a couple in New York, briefly, very briefly. But the coil, it's like anybody could do that. Just a simple coil. Like in other words, that's how. See this copper coil? That's a Lukowski coil, just like that, right there. Maybe it should be a little tighter than that, you know. But that's why sometimes these copper bands work. That's a Lukowski coil right there. It's got a little opening. It should be a little tighter opening than that, though. That's how it works. Copper, and I don't want to get down in ancient history and folklore, but there's supposedly these big giants that used to roam the earth and used to wear like this copper or some bullshit. Maybe that's what the hell they were doing. I don't know. That's some other bullshit. But I don't want to get into that crap because I don't know if that's true or not, or just folklore. But I do know the studies back in the 1930s in Paris. Boy, that was the rage. Everybody was buying Lakowski coils. But that's why when they sell those magnetic bracelets today, a lot of times they're open on one side. That's the Lakowski coil. That's what's going on. It's got to be copper. It's not. It doesn't matter that you got the insulation on there, as long as you got the copper, because it's not picking up electricity. It's picking up energies in and around us that we don't see. There's energies in and around us that are coming to Earth that are actually making life work. And this is directing it to the plant. It works like a capacitor. So it collects it, and then every once in a while it's going. When it gets up to a certain critical point, it jumps that gap and it gets into the plant. The guy that gave him this idea was actually Nikola Tesla. So, I think it's helping him. Some big ass lemons coming out of this sucker, man. As we see. That's huge, man. It's huge.